Dozens of children are among the dead in Friday's flash flooding in central Texas, many of them campers at a Christian sleepaway camp in Hunt, Texas on the Guadalupe River. It's been there since 1926.
The children, the little girls who were lost at Camp Mystic. That's every parent's nightmare.
Senator Ted Cruz, Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter, says two of his granddaughters were there with four cousins, and one cousin didn't survive.
When my son called me, I was in a parade on July 4th for about 8 to 10 hours. We didn't know. We didn't know about our granddaughters, and I think that's the longest 8 or 10 hours I've ever experienced in my life, and it's just such a harrowing experience. But I just want to say to all of those who are still waiting that you are in our thoughts and prayers.
16-year-old Callie McAllery tells Fox she put her name tag on as cabins flooded early Friday.
I just put it on just for safekeeping, saying in my head I was saying if something does happen and I do get swept away, at least I'll have my name on my body.
The camp's director and co-owner died, camp counselor Catherine Somerville on Fox.
Dickie Slind was one of the most selfless men in the whole world. He was a inspiration to so many. He was a father figure, a comforting force in the uncertainty of everything.
About 750 kids were at Camp Mystic when the flash flooding hit.
In the middle of the night, my cabin woke up to rain coming in through the windows.
Holly Kate Hurley is a counselor who started as a camper 10 years ago when she was 10 years old.
Which is fairly normal. It happens a lot. I got up out of bed around 1:32 in the morning, asked my girls to close the window. Then the power went out and I was like, okay, this must just be a pretty bad thunderstorm. When I really realized it was so bad was when we woke up and we were having our breakfast brought to us by other counselors or just people that work in our office. And I went outside with my co-counselor and we saw that the dam was broken.
And was it like a little after sunrise or something?
Yeah, this was at 7:30 in the morning, okay, roughly.
And how old were the girls in your cabin?
I had 12 and 13-year-olds.
Okay. And the kids, the youngest kids there, what, 7, 8?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about the counselors? I mean, I assume it's a lot of former campers like you. No offense, you guys are kind of kids too.
Yeah, we're young.
Well, describe the camp for people, what it looked like a few days ago. I mean, I understand that there are some cabins on high ground and some cabins pretty real close to the river, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how does it work? Is it younger? Is it by age? Unless I misunderstood it or misheard it, the younger kids are closer to the river, and I wonder if that made things harder.
Yeah, so the cabins are actually all uphill. None of them are directly on the waterfront, which is what made things so much scarier. The cabins are actually about 25-30 feet above the river. So the younger campers stay on what we call the flats, which is close to the river, but still up above. Those are we have our juniors, and then which are elementary school, and then middle school and high school. And those younger girls stay on the flats because the flats are kind of the central area. It's where everything is really located, all the activities and everything.
Okay. And I mean, and you've been going there for what, 10, 11, 12 years, something like that. So, I mean, you've seen the river get a little high, I assume.
Yeah, but it's nothing like this has ever happened.
Yeah, of course. Well, to that end, was there any sort of training for a situation like this? I assume you have, fire drills or whatever during your training. How was the evacuation run? I mean, I know some people were just gone so fast that it was too late to do much of anything.
I was on the side of camp that was uphill. I was at Cypress Lake. I honestly don't know what the other girls did. All I know is that they had to leave their cabins in the middle of the night. We have flood protocols, but our flood protocols are to either stay in the cabin or find high ground. But nothing like this has ever.
Of course.
Yeah.
maybe not your girls, but some of these kids, like we said, are 7, 8 years old, first time away from home, period, already dealing with nerves. How were the kids handling it? Was there a lot of panic, or did they not know enough to be panicked?
A lot of the girls didn't really know what was going on. And we tried to, I guess keep it that way, make sure no one was panicking. The panic started when we had to evacuate. We had a lot of girls were having serious like anxiety. And we got them water. We asked them to like take deep breaths, calm down. They're just babies.
Just thinking about your happy years there. How is it pretty much everything that most people think about with a sleepover camp? Also, also just incorporating faith. I mean, how long are the stays? What are the activities like? What's the food like?
Well, the food is great. I rave about the food, which, people think like, ew, camp food's so gross. I love camp food. We have so many different activities. We have different terms. We have in June a month-long term, 2 2-week terms in June, and then in July we have 2 month-long terms and 1 2-week term in August. So we have girls coming from all over. It's a long stay, but it doesn't feel like a month. It goes by so fast because you just have so much fun.
Yeah, and I assume it's the kind of place like with any good camp where kids go back year after year, or like you, they return as as counselors in training or as counselors, and it's a generational thing too. You said your grandma was there
Yes.
over the weekend. Did you have parents rushing there, just not knowing if their kids were okay? I mean, I guess some still don't, but did you have to deal with meeting with or just seeing distraught parents?
I didn't meet with any parents, but some of the things I saw, I'll never be able to unsee. I saw parents, hugging their child, like thanking God that they were alive. And I saw other parents watch as each bus came through looking for their girl and not seeing her there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been a few days. How are you doing? I mean, I know it's early days, and there are going to be things like you said that you're not going to be able to unsee. How are you feeling? Have you been keeping in touch with other counselors? How are they doing?
Yeah, I think most of us are still in shock. One of my friends who was my co-counselor at the June term had to evacuate in the middle of the night. And we're staying in touch. I'm staying in touch with a lot of my friends, and we're all still in shock, I'd say. We're still trying to process everything that's happened.
I know it's probably still it's very early to talk about the future of Camp Mystic. If would you go back?
Yeah. Camp has been such a pivotal part of my life. Yeah, I'd definitely come back, especially next summer is like the 100-year anniversary.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's a well-known camp that's been around for, like you said, 99 years. Are most campers, most counselors from Texas, or do you get kids from all over?
We have kids from all over. We have counselors, from England, Mexico, campers from Mexico, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, just all over the place.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to tell people about what happened here? Anything you could ask of people that are listening to you?
I would just ask to give the families who are mourning privacy. And if you have the means to donate, please do so. Camp is such a special place to me and so many young women who have gone there for 100 years now. It's really such a special place, and just being there, if you know someone who went through this, giving them time to grieve and to talk.
Kate Hurley, a counselor at Camp Mystic in Hunt, Texas. Holly, thank you.
Thank you.
You can join Fox's support of recovery efforts following the devastating floods in Texas. Your donation supports the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country's relief and rebuilding efforts. Visit go.fox/Texas flood relief. That's go.fox/TX flood relief.